Congratulations again. We're going to go ahead and add them directly on in to our qualified board. You'll see it live right here in Brazil. There is a look so far today. Congratulations to everyone. Link, Peter Pan, Lecce, Kluja, Savage, M, Smeef, Snazy, Issa, Yarkos, Blaster, and now DK Outs, all qualifying for the Fortnite World Cup. And now that leaves us with our final 8 spots still to be fulfilled. Obviously 6 from North America East and 2 from North America West. Action's been insane. Let's find out who those final 8 spots will go to. It first has to go to NA East for our final matches.
Thank you, Courage. Yes, we got lots more games to go right now. Well, 22 minutes left, but we got a lot of lobbies to check out still. These are the final moments in the games of these players. Their last opportunities to get into that top 6 position, potentially top 8, because we already have 2 players that look like they qualified already, that they're going to be making it with that amount of points that they've been securing already. But you never know. We still, a lot of those players still had 3 games to burn through. So, well, it'll be interesting to see what strategy they decide to take to get the most amount of points. Now we're coming in and spectating Saf. He's been time and time again a player to watch out for, picking up another elimination. There's still 31 players left in this lobby. He's got a great loadout. He's got that blue tactical shotgun and the blue drum gun and that compact SMG. Love seeing a lot of these players choosing for the double SMG strategy. It's just so interesting to see metas change up as you add and remove different items in the game, but still a big spread of positioning here. They are going to be moving into their first half moving zone, I guess. It's half out, half in, so all these players will need to move towards this that aren't currently in the area already. Perplexity's found himself a boombo. Let's see if that,
Oh, okay. He thought about it. He thought about it, decided, you know what, maybe not, maybe not. I'm not comfortable with it, I won't do it. He's going to jump back into the storm for a launch pad he knows was sitting out there. You know what, it might actually be worth it. This could be huge for him, potentially finding a better position. Going to find a little nook here, begin building his 1x1.
Secure himself, position in zone, has a perfect little slurp to follow that up, and another one to boot if he needs that later in the game. Great job for him. Great loadout, rather. Now just looking to take any shots he can on the rotating players. Anyone that potentially might open a window, he's going to take advantage of. He's got 22 points already. We did see a lot of the other players were already at like 70, I think we just saw. So that's insane. He needs to definitely have a few games of his life right now, and maybe we'll see him do that today.
We'll have to see how things unfold. 30 players left, top 25. It's the first placement threshold. That's where these players are trying to make top 15. 5 victory hour are those others that offer up points for placement, and every elim is a single point. And now here we go, 10 seconds, and then everyone starts to scramble because they're all trying to get into the new safe circle as efficiently and as safely as possible. So now Perplexity's going to probably do this. He's probably going to wait. He's going to hope that players, okay, so he's already watching. He's on the other side of the storm here. He's just watching as these players with their back to the storm wall.
He gets that last shot, steals that elimination, doesn't even need the siphon, but does get that point. Dropping down for the community launchpad, now making the rotation. He is in that top 25 now, getting those 3 extra points towards his name.
And he's going to box himself up. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to just catch eliminations with players, on players as they had their backs to the storm wall. They're trying to get in, trying to get safe. All they're thinking about is, how do I get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, as safely as possible? He takes advantage. Spades here, hopping in. He's got a rocket launcher ready to go.
And a rift, which he's opting to use now, a little bit early, but it is going to get him a clear rotation into the next zone. He's going to choose to actually dive down, and instead of waiting to see the next zone, he's going to take it all the way down and look to get some positioning towards the next one. Does get tagged up, has a mini that he's able to apply afterwards, and now he wants to follow up this engagement with,
What? You spotted? That was insane!
Me. As he learned the perfect tracking of those shadow bombs already, that was absolutely mental. That player disappeared and he still got that elimination using that drum gun. Whoa,
that was Zate. So I was literally, this was actually, that's why I gasped earlier. I was going to say, we tuned in with Ghost Saf, and I just saw Zate was in the game. They are typically a duo. Oh, they bonked a little head. They are a duo, and because it's solos, obviously everyone's trying to compete, so you're going to be facing off against your potential
Oh,
duo
Spades goes
partner.
down.
Yeah, Spades
And
eliminated.
Did they eliminate each other? What
No,
happened?
he picked up Zayt there, so Saf, I believe, is still roaming around, potentially on the high ground. We'll have to see as we get a better vantage point for these players. But Janik on the low side, painful as well. He's in the 1-by-1, 1 over, and look at the ammo count right now, Kitty. Not looking great, but this could be huge. There's this player sitting out of the open. What do you mean? He just double tapped these players and another one.
He didn't pick up any of the ammo though. See, he has no ammo in his assault rifle. He only has 1 clip in his drum gun right now. He is gonna have to do the best he can. He already expended through all of his resources. He just walked over 4 eliminated players, didn't pick up any of their loot. Now we're spectating Blue T, who just took him out. He does have that legendary assault rifle. He has a full stack of minis, 3 eliminations to his name. He's having a great game. You can feel the momentum in the way that he's playing, looking to get aggressive on his opponent right now, who's actually looking to make an edit play. Maybe he can catch him off guard. No, he does hear him breaking through and builds accordingly, but he has this mid ground. Janik in the ultimate high. He is there with Vice though. Perplexy holding that low, able to find some time now to take his mini shields in a hole. Gosh, you gotta be prepared for the rebuttal if you're gonna be breaking down that wall. Just absolutely destroys him. Janik gets taken down by Blue T, but the other 2 have been rifted. This is a perfect opportunity for Blue T to take some shots on them, just make sure that they do not take his high ground, but he opts to actually drop down, losing
I don't
his
know about
high
that.
ground. Maybe he was out of resources. I'm not sure about his decision making, but now we're watching Perplexy 4 eliminations. Look at that build going right down. He's got 2 more builds before he's going to have to drop down with Blue T in a 1v1 situation. It appears that it was a building situation. Now it's a 1v1. Vice and Perplexy. Perplexy has no more build. Vice could keep blanketing as long as he wants to drop his build.
That was
An interesting
the sickest
play.
thing. Again, I am on my feet, walking around.
Bye, Z.
Perplexy
What's up?
just outplayed that player. Whoever is on analyst, I need to break that down. He breaks the metal structure, player falls down, hugs a tree, looks for the damage numbers to pop in the storm, jumps out, double pump to your face. Perplexity with the victory out. That was wow. I'm just gonna take one more lap. I'm gonna take one more lap.
Okay,
just
I
one
got
more.
this.
I'm
Hey
just
guys, don't worry, I'll take care of you.
there's plenty of TVs around, so I can.
Yeah, he'll be fine. All right,
Okay,
we're now
coming
spectating
back.
Falter. We got 15 minutes left for the North American East qualifiers. We have 6 spots for these guys. Falter, 1 elimination. We've seen a lot of Falter in a lot of these online qualifiers. He's an incredibly confident player. He's great in the late game. It's going to be interesting to see if he's able to convert a victory royale here in these final moments of these last lobbies. Having great positioning here now, able to take some shots on his roaming opponents. Isn't able to pick up any eliminations, but getting some tags. Now he's just got to wait for these south players. You see, on the mini map, he's angled south. All these players need to rotate towards him. Picking up an elimination now. He's got 2, looking for any opportunity he can get to get some tags in.
Now don't forget, guys, as Kitty mentioned earlier, this is it. We're coming down to the final few moments. So the way it works is the queue times you have a 3-hour window to play or 10 games. All right. Once that window is closed, if you're in a game, let's say you queue up with 3 seconds left, you're allowed to play out that last game. So for a lot of these players that are continuing to be alive, this is potentially their last chance, potentially their last game to accrue points. Now if they're eliminated a little early on, they can queue back up and they can continue to do that until that window closes. So this is it, Kitty. We're coming down to the wire. We're going to see a lot of these players, that the last few interactions they have to potentially drop huge points, shift the standings, and qualify. Eva right now on just 2 eliminations. Basically 152 effective HP. This is not a great spot to be in, but you can turn things around.
Yeah, definitely. There's always opportunities to turn things around. There's so many placement points that can be picked up every single elimination point. Eva now looking to engage with Zunis. I think he heard us. I think he realizes how much pressure there is on him right now to get these final points that are going to make a difference for him punching a ticket for the World Cup finals at the end of July. Instead of going for that elimination, though, he is going to play it a little bit safer, go for the rotation, finds another opponent, gets 2 great tack shots off on him, isn't able to secure the elimination, but now he needs to continue pushing up. They're going up and over this hill here. He finds Godnik, takes him out with that drum gun and continues to make the push. He needs to be breaking through all of his opponent's builds here. He needs to be really, really careful with how much he's expending and make sure he's not getting caught out in that storm.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. It's careful about how much he's using right now, right? Because especially when you're running through builds and someone's left a metal wall behind that you have to break through to get to safety, it's tough. This is a wood wall, thankfully. Wood ramp here on the left, thankfully. If that was metal, he would already be gone. He needs to find something. He does. No way! The chip damage and the storm.
Wow.
He would basically, we have already been eliminated.
Wow, what a lucky break, but you see he is not phased at all, continuing the momentum through the zone. He does not own that wall, but thankfully I don't think the person on the other side of it does either. They are all making this push now into that zone. There's a bit of a community jump pad here for anyone to take, but it is blocked up. Doesn't look like any players are going to choose to use it, or maybe have not noticed it. Dubs, we talked about him earlier. Absolutely outstanding.
Just in all these games.
He has 67 points in this lobby now. He's got 4 rockets in that RPG, 2 eliminations already. All these players going into these late games with these early eliminations that are really, really paying off for them.
I like that he chose there. So he drops down on 2 players that are build battling, and he's like, I'm just going to back up and just 90 my way up. And look at this. He's already found an elim, reloads the rocket. This is huge. So Dubs is playing for late game, just trying to make sure he can hit at least top 25, and then he's going to go on the offensive. He tries to trade out with someone, down to 35. He's in the critical. He needs to find this shot. Down to 50. Oh my, he picks it up. 45, 35, 25. Okay, my heart's racing right now.
Last second picking up that siphon, which makes it just enough for him to get back into this zone, and he still has high ground. Amidst all of that chaos, nearly losing his life to the zone, he is still maintaining composure, maintaining this high ground. He needs any elimination he can get for that siphon. That's his last rocket now, and he's just removed all of the build that was protecting him from potentially a big fall. Does go for the waterfall down, knows this player's weak, got lots of great tags on him, looking for the edit replace, does not get it, still has that high ground. No one's contesting for him for it right now.
I like that he went ahead and used the rocket as well. Just go ahead and break this player down. They're pretty high above everyone, so now he just kind of forces this player down. What he's hoping to do is pick up a player along the way to get more rockets. And unfortunately, okay, so that player decides to send rockets to the tart below, and he picks up Laner. They're on the descent phase. Dubs, you are absolutely destroying this lobby. Look at the players down below.
Shotang, Lil Alk, Raylapse, Kexi, and Zero Ping smacked. Lots of things happening down on that lower ground, but FaZe Dubs is just biding his time, sitting on this high ground, raining in these drum gun shots onto his opponents. Isn't getting the eliminations. Looks like Zero Ping is getting those. He does get taken out by Raylapse. Shotang goes down to the zone. This is a 1v1 situation. Raylapse able to get off that mini shield, does have a little bit of a health equalizing moment here now, but Dubs is ready with that shotgun. 6 eliminations. Like, this is a clinic right now, Z.
Dubs said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region. Sundown, how is this even possible?
How is this even possible? I mean, you're looking at one of the best solo Fortnite Battle Royale players in the world, certainly one of the best in North America, if not the best in North America. And again, you can go check him out on the leaderboard, set your region to NA East. Go check his matches. Just go watch. He does tons of special plays. The way he executes in box fights, the way he has adjusted to this meta, showing everything that not only can he be the best in the early weeks, he'll continue to be the best and show up. And I mean, the Battle Royale action has been intense so far today. We've sent 10 additional players to that New York City final. 6 more will be booking their trip from NA East in about 35, 40 minutes or so. There's 10 minutes left in the queue, and they'll try and get to that New York City final. Now, Battle Royale is not the only thing that will be at the Fortnite World Cup final. We also have the Fortnite World Cup Creative. The second trial, the Creative Trial, those are the version of the qualifier where 3 players will advance to the final for a total of 15, began last Wednesday with your creative captain, Lachlan, being the one to build an elimination run called Lockie's Landing. Now, it is a race. There is a nice little spreadsheet on there where it tracks all the scores. You can check it out. The code is in there. Download it. He did post a little teaser yesterday saying, hey, the top times still haven't used what I've found have been the most effective routes, and there definitely are some surprises in there, and some fun little Easter eggs. So check those out. You can check him out on his social at twitter.com/LachlanYT or on YouTube /Lachlan or on the Fortnite game Twitter. So go ahead, check those out, and get involved because these players will get $5,000 for qualifying for the New York City final and their chance to compete for a piece of a $3 million total prize pool. So it's not just Battle Royale. Get your creative juices flowing, get involved with it there. We're going to go to a short 5-minute break and then come back and catch those very last matches on NA East, the ones who will decide who is going to New York City, who will cement their name as one of the best, and who will be fighting for their chance at a piece of that $30 million prize pool. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for making her day. We really do appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And now on to more
Thanks
action.
for interacting with us. We appreciate it. So we do have a few more games to get into in the North American East bracket. And to do that for us, we've got the incredible casters, Bala and PookieFace _.
Hey.
What's up, fam? Take it
What up?
away.
Thanks, Kitty. Thanks, Zeke. Thanks,
That was
Becca.
awesome.
That was
That
pretty
wall
awesome.
was cool. Becca is awesome. She's a fantastic person. The graphics are awesome. Everything is cool.
The whole production team, Bala.
Facts.
They're killing it.
Facts.
But you know who else is killing it?
Who?
The NA East guys.
They are. So let's head right into those games. Right into Thwifo. Ooh.
Ooh, hello. I see
Thwifo
you.
against Young
Thwifo, I
Calculator.
see you. I see
Alright.
High Sky in there. Who else we have? Dark.
Yeah.
Wow. Stacked much?
Definitely stacked. And remember, this is probably the minute that the queues are ending. As I say that, I pull out my phone. It is exactly 4 Pacific, which is the last time you can queue. So these are going to be the last games. Obviously, we're using the in-game spectating feature where we're going off a little bit of a delay, 5 minutes or so. You can do that yourself by going in the compete tab. Right now, Thwifo in a little bit of a pickle on edge of zone. You can see he's definitely playing very aggressively. Goes back to some of the materials that he had from earlier on, possibly an elimination was found back there.
I mean, of course he's playing aggressively. He's got the 2 drum gun loadout. If that does not scream aggressive, I don't know what does. He has the Silence SMG and that combat shotgun, Bala. Have you had a chance to play with it yet?
Yes, I
And
have.
How do you feel?
It's a little more versatile, right? It has the range. It's a little different than what you're used to with the pump shotgun and the tac. You have to really get up close,
Right.
especially with the tactical. So it tends to different play styles. I think Shy Wager put it perfectly, right? If you are a player who likes to play the footsies at range, and the footsies being like making sure exactly you're in the maximum damage range, then you tend to like the combat shotgun. Ooh, what a play there from Thwifo. Not only focusing with the SMG, the silence, the suppressed SMG right there, and then following it up by just pushing into the wall as players sprayed from behind, kind of getting himself a free pinch. He's not even playing duos, but he has duo partners right now.
Yeah, and an excellent swap there. He did opt to drop the second drum gun for the redeploy, which getting into these final circles probably wasn't a bad play from him. Let's take a look up top here. We have L Damien S. He's looking okay right now. He's got the RPG loadout, a blue drum gun. You love to see it, love to see it. Not the best for health right now, so he may want to take things a little bit slower, see if he can get a couple of peeks on enemies to get that siphon so he can get a little bit of his HP back so that going into endgame he stands more of a chance.
So, very high up. We just talked about his positioning. Where is he going to be able to find? Yes, there
right
it is.
there.
Exactly like you said, Pookie. Innocence goes down. And now Damien's turn to look where he's going to go. The zone is going to start pushing him away. Kind of rotated a little bit to give him a little bit of time to get those eliminations, and he did rack them up. Now 30 players remaining in this. That first moving zone is going. Who's going to be in the position? The advantageous one. The moment I look at in solos is basically as this zone closes, who has high ground? That's going to be the important one, but now hopping into Rogue Shark, making a rotation with the Shadow Bomb right now. He's up there on the leaderboard. Sundown called him out. He's been top 100 every single solo week. Is it going to be the week that he's going to qualify? That's the question.
Oh, it's impressive. When you can be that consistent, this is week 3, we still have 2 weeks left. It's anybody's game, Bala.
It's anybody's game, and you can actually see he's holding the turbo building feature right now. On all the walls, finally Excels goes right behind him. He wasn't making noise in that. All the time he was spinning around, making sure that if a wall was going to get heavy sniped or something like that, he would have the time to quickly replace it, and then Excel's getting into his box. Rogue Shark knew exactly what was happening because of his awareness.
And using that Shadow Bomb again to rotate, is going to get caught up on a player's build here, but is going to try to preemptively cross the lava.
Oh!
Gets a massive headshot on slides, takes him out completely. You lava to see it. Rogue Shark here now sitting with 2 eliminations, 54 points. He's looking pretty good right now, Bala.
Yeah, that's for sure, but you got to make sure you have the positioning to get towards that zone, and it's dangerous around here. Right by the pressure plant, there's a lot of elevation change very quickly. And speaking of elevation changes, the little platform that he wanted to land on there just got exploded from right under him, so he had to glide a little bit longer. But you can see, very careful. Every single time he lands, holding that turbo build, making sure that nobody is going to follow him up. And guess what? Because of that patience, because he's not moving like crazy, he's constantly stopping, taking stock of what's around him. He gets a lot of loot there, another RPG too.
But look at this zone, Bala. This is a very precarious situation for him. He does have the Shadow Bombs, using them to rotate, but players are building him out. He is going to have to make some quick edits.
No.
Gets Thwyfo. Thwyfo gets completely annihilated by Shark. Shark, you are on a tear now.
Yes.
Another headshot onto Wanro. Oh my goodness, Bala. He can't be stopped right now.
That was ridiculous. I was going to talk about how the Shadow Bombs sometimes can be a little uncomfortable because you could get trapped in some of these boxes. You can't do anything about it. He did end up coming out of the Shadow Bomb, make his own box, and Thwyfo ended up falling into that. And then another player too, Shark, using that combat shotgun as well. An advantage being the fast fire rate, the quick reload time, the large clip. Gonna do great things at that close range, but it looks like he's okay. He's good. I thought he was stuck down below.
No, the zone is rotating back. It looks to be in his favor. Top 3. He is the lowest player right now. He is going to try and knock both of the players above him down with the RPG. Isn't able to get either of them completely below him though. So we're going to have to see how he utilizes this low ground to hopefully clutch that victory royale.
Yeah, and right now, knocking them both into each other. I think that's a forced engagement right there. No, Tuxi and Popfast are not going to fight all the way, and now Rogue Shark kind of put yourself in a little bit of a pinch right now, and that might be the end. No, he takes out Tuxi, so now 1v1 Rogue Shark. What a play with that combat shotgun, takes him out. He still has that drum gun too, and an RPG to knock out Popfast if he wants to. Popfast making sure he gets through that tree, jumping up to make sure no storm ticks are going to get taken, but he is going to take some. Fortunately, not able to hit those little combo reticles, so breaking the tree faster. Now the campfire's coming in, making sure that he heals up. Here's the RPG, knocks him directly into his box. It's going to be a full-out brawl.
Wow.
And Rogue Shark is going to come out on top. Again, the close-range engagements, he did it time and time again. We saw him take out Thwyfo in the box. And then all the way to the end there, close-range encounters, Rogue Shark knows how to do it.
He owned every single one of those builds. So when he used the RPG to knock the other player down, all he had to do was edit his ceiling. The player wasn't expecting it. He dropped in. That was game over.
Boom.
Congratulations to him. Excellent game. Very well played.
And Pookie, you talked about it. The spots are up for grabs, and he's close. I believe he was at 60-something at the end of that game. So we've been following him on the leaderboards. He's up there. Can he end up in the top 6?
Time will tell, Bala. I can't wait to see how these next few games shake up the leaderboards. Anything can happen. Anyone can take this. We're taking a look here at Pistola. He does have a couple of players in his sights right now. He is going to opt to go forward, try and get a little bit of damage on Gucci Goose. Takes him out completely. 2 headshots with the blue tactical shotgun there. He does have 1 elimination right now, but there are still 40 players alive, so there is a lot of room for him to move up in those leaderboards and hopefully secure himself some placement points as well.
Yeah, and you can see in the bottom right of your screen right now, I'm looking for players who are in contention for those qualifying spots. It's 8 down there. I believe he was in 6th last time we checked. He was top 3 at some point. Could definitely have a game where he's going to push himself back into that top 6. You have to remember, there's the format. Again, on point with it. At Victory Royale, the placement points can get you up to 10 points. 25th is that first threshold. That's going to get 3. That's the first one that everybody's looking for. So right now, you can actually tell players are kind of playing more cautiously. Klaus right now looking through his cone. Is this player going to make a move? Don't want to quite go too aggressive, because if you're Turpins, for example, who just went down to Shujay, you're not getting any of those placement points. So you just played a whole game to get to this point, and you're not going to get anything in terms of placement. Maybe you got elimination too. Nothing too crazy. They rack up fast.
And what is that? 6 zones, so what, 10, 12 minutes possibly that you've just spent in this lobby, and now no placement points. You're only taking your elimination points home with you.
Class really interested in this neighbor. Oh, that was a great play onto Linane too.
No, my fellow
What was
Canadian. And then I'm so sorry.
Unfortunate there, but Class really, I mean, sitting in that cone, looking exactly what Linane was doing. He had the foot knockout, Linane did, that was the case. And then he moved out of his box. He took the opportunity Class did to break the wall, just break it, take it back, and then like treat it like Linane, you still have your box, you're good. So Linane actually moved back into it, didn't realize that the wall was not his anymore, and Class just, oh my goodness!
Bala!
What is going
There are
on?
flies, and Landjock is holding a fly swatter right now. He has the drum gun just raining shots on these players, takes out Servardo. Did you see how many players were in the air?
That is
there a vent?
Yes.
What is going on?
There's a
vent.
slipstream.
There's
a slipstream.
a slipstream.
And the vents as well.
And the vents, and the geysers. So we have all of this mobility, and there were about 20 players in the air in that specific moment. There could have been a lot more eliminations there had the other players that were stationary on the ground been paying attention to what was going on above them. Here we're back to Pistola. Now he is sitting really pretty with all of this mobility. He is going to opt to use a shadow bomb to rotate over, use the builds of the other players to possibly make it last a little bit longer, but does end up boxing himself into a metal box with a cone to maybe just take a step back, reassess what's going on, and go forward from there.
I was panicking a little bit there because I thought he was going to come out of the shadow bomb. I'm pretty sure that player next to him, that yellow soccer skin, is Zayt. So the qualifying chances there for Zayt. I was wondering if it was going to happen. Nice drop down from Pistola onto Money Habits. Going to net him an elimination. He has a 3 right now, and also that was the
same skin?
there. I think it is. Yeah, directly under. But that was the placement threshold. Top 25, you start getting 3.
Yeah, Zayt is at the bottom there. You could be right.
Pistola also one of those players that came through the Winter Royale. That's where I first heard of him. Great performance there. See what he can do here in the World Cup Online Opens. Trying to qualify for New York.
Hernando does fall. We're looking back at Landjock here. So, I mean, health-wise not doing too great, build-wise not doing too great either, but anything can change in a split second. It takes one elimination on one person. Is he going to nail this one? He does. He gets Babe Jesus. And then I thought he was going to take out Usain as well, but he wasn't able to clutch that elimination. We see Hornet, the very top.
Oh, Pistola! All of a sudden, he had that rift to go. We saw it earlier in his inventory, and he's going to challenge for height here, but no. Just barely misses the window of opportunity there. He's going to go down and decide, hey, I can knock this out. Can he do it? No, that player just connected directly to Pistola's builds. So
yeah, he is very high up. He doesn't have much mobility. Using that tree to actually ensure that he's not taking any fall damage and then just landing on top of the other players' builds. We're top 10 now, Bala. So these top 10 are going to be in the second threshold for placement. Zayt just gets taken out by blame leg. Zayt, I'm so sorry, man. But Pistola taking some shots here, ends up connecting on Derpy Troller. These names today.
Yeah, I love them. They're funny. They're hilarious.
They're amazing.
I've seen Derpy Troller multiple times before too. What a shot there. Gandhi goes down. Unfortunately for him, dab, dab, dab. Nope, not in this lobby. Pistola now in a top 4 situation. That final zone, you can see in the bottom right, that small little dot. That's where the zone is going. So somewhere near the quad crasher spawn.
Near
Pistola
a dusty
now.
divot.
Yeah. Trying to break his way through the metal. I think that was the wrong choice. He now needs to use the AR. He's going to get held out, I believe. Yes, the other wall comes in, and that's it, I think, for you. Oh, are you doing it? The siphon is about to come in if he gets this. Yes, Lag goes down, so Pistola, you barely just lived. He's got 60 HP right now in a dream. What can you do? The tactical shotgun as well. No materials. Class finally takes him out, and one more player to find. Class onto Hornet.
Wow, unbelievable ending there. My gosh, Class just kept that high ground, let Hornet go down and take that engagement. All he had to do was clean up. Beautifully executed. Beautifully executed indeed, and we can see the history of the game. I love these views. Look at the top left. These fossils. What is it looks like the entire base is build fighting each other. The entire server is build fighting each other. It's great. I love it. That's the story of the game, basically. You could see like different paths. I wish we could literally like go back and like match
who did what, right? Like, oh,
Color
the winner, here's
coordinated?
where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be neat. That would definitely be cool. We are taking a look here at playing though. Top 25. So not very many players left in this lobby compared to some of the other ones that we've seen. So these players have already placed. You can see on the right-hand side what we're looking at in terms of qualifiers per region. We have Oceania, Asia, and Brazil all taking one spot today. Europe with 8, NA East with 6, and NA West with 2 as well. We are currently watching our NA East games. We're about just over halfway through, and these guys are bringing it today, Vala.
Jeez, and this guy is bringing it to Pling's wall. He finally makes it through, but the trap was ready. Unfortunately for you, collateral. Oh, the L dance too. I kind of feel like you deserve that, buddy, because that was top 25. You did. I think he was barely in that top 25. You got the 3 points, but you just threw away the rest of your game because you just wanted to get into his box.
Yeah, and sometimes that aggressive play really isn't the best option. You never know what your opponent has in their inventory ready to place on a wall beside you.
Pookie, he telegraphed it. He was doing that for quite a while. I mean, it was like 40 seconds. So he knew exactly what to do. I have a trap. I'm going to place my pyramid in a certain way. And then I'm going to just place a trap. I'm going to let you come through, actually. I'm literally going to bait you to come into my wall or into my box.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, this is why I love watching these games, Paula, and I think you can attest to this fact as well. It's not just mechanically what goes on, just the IQ of some of these players and how they think. It's such a completely different level from any other style of gameplay, from any other video game, and I think that's why I'm so obsessed with the BR genre right now, because it's not only about being able to outplay your opponent, but it's also about being able to outwit them as well.
That's for sure. The mind games go a long way. Spades is going to hop on top of this box. See what he's going to do. He opts to stay on the side of it, right? You don't want to stay directly on top of somebody. Just because we've seen those edit tricks where you edit down your entire base, you drop them in, you place a cone, and you force the fight. Now rotating with the impulse grenades. Courage. Had some nice things to say about the impulse grenades, but you do have to be very careful with them. You have to be very skilled. That's one of the reasons why people love them so much. You get the opportunity to do so many cool things in there. You actually almost got that shadow bomb. Does find Mystic on the side of zone. Is he going to find another? Yes. Nice. Dank Mine goes down. Spades. Are you going to qualify for solos as well as duos? We already saw him qualify in the first week of duos. So he's going to New York, but is he doing it for solos?
We're gonna have to see. We're looking at Baldisama again. He is here right at the edge of the zone. It does look as though he is going to have to make quite the rotation. He does have one shadow bomb in his inventory to help him do so, and there it is. He pops it. So he did use the shields in his inventory to get up to the 100 shield, then decided to make the rotation early so that his back wasn't going to be completely towards the storm the whole time, so that he could take a look at these shots, hopefully rain some down, and get that siphon to bring him back up to full HP.
Bring him back up to full HP. That's what he's looking for right now. You can see him going for that elimination, just like you said, Pookie. And then going down for the zone as well. Top 15, there's another threshold.
There
Nice.
it is.
Suppressed SMG, still usable, still definitely viable.
Definitely.
And you can actually, you talked about it, he's using the drum gun and the suppressed SMG. Not usually a combo that, like, they kind of fulfill the same role, but there's slight differences that make them still valuable. He didn't unfortunately pick up that one. And he's gonna get ticked once from zone, and another player as well. Time to pop some minis and start moving in.
Still has those two big shields, but is he going to get a chance to use it?
That's Spades, I believe.
Impulsed out, is going to take 2 ticks of storm damage, but oh my goodness, did you see the turret get placed? I think Nighttime may have possibly panicked there and dropped the turret as opposed to an actual trap in his inventory. Always very important to make sure that in these endgame final situations you have your traps out in your trap button as opposed to a turret, because you are going to need to pop those out really quickly.
You could actually see Baldy avoiding picking up the trap in that specific instance. Not going to find value for the turret just then.
Nope.
Now, Baldy fighting against Horizon on high ground. Matrices just went down on low ground. There's 3 players next to each other right now. Baldy's going to join the fray as well.
We're in top 5, Bala.
Top 5.
Takes this.
The SMG coming in. Baldy's pressuring on the Pling. This is still such a large circle right now. It's pretty wide in terms of what we're looking at. There's not everybody stacked on top of each other. There's still a lot of horizontal spaces. Baldy takes out Frey.
But look at where the zone is headed, Bala. We are going to be going up the side of that mountain. Is the game even going to make it that far? Because we are in a 1v1 situation.
He's going right for it. The trap's coming in, but can he break it? Or he gets the elimination right before it. I think he got, I don't know, maybe he placed that trap. I don't know exactly. Maybe we can get a replay of that later. But that trap, I think it was the other player. So he just got the elimination right before it went off. And then he got the victory royale because of it, obviously. But that was the matter of seconds between that.
Yeah, we're going to definitely need to talk to Sundown to break that down for us afterwards because it all happened in a split second, but no time for us to rest, Bala.
Nope.
We are back into another game looking at Macwood right now, sitting on high ground, challenging another player who has decided to use his glider redeploy and try and take the high ground from him.
I was going to say that was a interesting time to fight for height like this because it's still that half in, half out zone. Remember, you have a cap on your materials. You can only carry 500 of each type, right? So you can't spend too much because at this point you aren't really farming. Everything that you're going to get from materials is going to be what you get off of the players that you drop.
Yeah, and Macwood's still looking good, 119 builds, but maybe you're right. Maybe he decided, the high ground at that point wasn't worth it. He was just going to stay kind of in the medium height zone, but gets an excellent snipe on A6. These snipe plays, Bala, I love them so much.
And what I think is really interesting is the way that he's peeking out of this box. Not only taking out the launch pad so nobody else can recycle it, make their rotation harder, but look at the stairs on the outside make it so that anybody looking in at this window is not going to get a good angle on him. The stairs are going to be blocking. It's already hard to see, right? And with the stair in front too, good little play from Macwood.
This is what I was talking about.
Makes his shots harder, but
these 200 IQ plays.
Yeah.
And if he's used to taking shots with stairs in front of his peak window like that, he is going to be at an advantage. We see Texi here just taking out Vincento, picking up his resources. Is looking very good right now with the glider redeploy to launch pads. Opts to drop the redeploy though. I'm not really quite sure what's in that fifth slot there, but he obviously does have something. We're going to have to wait and see if he pulls that out to utilize it. But 4 traps too.
It's a normal shield potion. He just took
big
that.
shield. There we go. Perfect.
So 42 players now in this game. Still in that first moving zone. This is
so many.
This is a lot of players, and it really some games are going to be 30, some games are going to be 35, some games are going to be 45. It just goes to say which players are in your game. Are they playing aggressively throughout the entire game? Are they playing aggressively up to this circle? It really depends. But now this one is a tough one. There's a lot. Oh no, Macwood, you just glider redeployed off of very high, and we know how slow it is, but not going to get punished for it.
Nobody is taking shots at him. Macwood is getting the freest free fall, no pun intended there, of his life, but lands in a tree, isn't going to have to work. Another player in a tree as well takes out Kryza. Macwood just saying, you know what? I'm just going to sit. Why are all of these players in trees, Bala? Is this a new meta that I'm not sure about?
I don't know. Everybody doing their best George of the Jungle impression right now. Macwood up in the tree. And it's funny because you don't want to be up there because you can't build, you can't defend yourself. So that's what happened. Macwood picking up those 2 eliminations.
I just realized his name is Macwood.
Oh my goodness. He was in the tree shooting at other players who can't build, and he's doesn't really worried about that advantage because people didn't realize that he was there. So the good fortune is in his side right now. But now onto Clicks. We know Clicks is at the top of the leaderboards with dubs. We know he's already qualified. We know what he's capable of. 4 eliminations in this game so far, and still so much to play in it.
We started this lobby in the 5th circle, 5th zone, and we were, 45 players? We are now down to 18. So that just shows how quickly things can change. We are at zone 7 right now, 18 seconds before the circle completely closes. Keanu, the streamer, taking out Hidev, and Macwood on high ground, just raining down shots. He's at 5 eliminations now, Bala.
5 eliminations, and I love this use of the redeploy, these short jumps to get your rotations in and get ahead of people and look back immediately. Look, he's not even really building. He hasn't used any of those materials. We talked about where he was when we first hopped in with him, about 120. Now he's at 5. And because of this glider redeploy usage, And the solid peak box usage, he's actually just using a lot of people's old builds. It's not even his. He's finding a lot of eliminations for it.
He's gonna have to be careful here though. He doesn't have a lot left. He doesn't have any builds. And there it is, 5 players left though, so we are in our last threshold before the final placement, which would be a victory royale.
Pookie, everybody disappeared. It's now top 4. 8th circle.
Maybe they're hiding in trees.
Top 4 now. Arcos and Chris do have that little advantage by being on the ridge, but it's gonna move off. No, it's gonna move right back. So Chris, who just took out Arcos for it, is gonna have a free rotation. All these players down below are gonna struggle. You can see Tezzy, he sees you. No, he jumped over him at the last second. That was critical. But unfortunately now he has to make the hard trek up. I don't know if he has any more shadow bombs. Do you have any more shadow bombs? Because it's gonna be very important for you to get up this. No more that we can see in his inventory. Chris, all you have to do is wait. Yes, here it goes. It's starting to go off the side. He's going to start trying to 90 up. No, can you do it, Chris? Starting to make his date terrible as well as he's stuck down below and the drum gun is going to come in. Chris, a good play there to position himself properly, and that's how you get the victory royale. But nice attempt there from Tezzy. I love that.
Yes.
90s.
Now, Chris knew. That ledge was so steep, he knew that the final players were down below. It was just a waiting game. He had the health advantage, he had the height advantage, he had the position advantage. Yeah. He had everything going in his favor. He just had to be patient. Getting that final 1-point elimination is definitely not worth risking the victory royale and getting impatient. So great to see from him. Here we are, though, into the next game. Whew, I need to take a breather. We're looking at Vice right now.
So Vice is one of the players who was at the top of the leaderboards early on. All right, so is he gonna be able to find any more points in towards these games? We're looking right now, and it looks like he is. Look at this circle right now. Frosty Flights is ridiculous.
So one thing, everyone, this is Sundown. Just wanted to give you a heads up. This is the final game that was played on the NAE server, period. There were 7 people who were in striking range of the final qualification spot. 2 of those spots will be decided in this match, and it will come down to the very last engagement. So enjoy.
Sundown, what? As if my heart was not racing fast enough. Bala.
Just a little bit of context there on what this game means.
This is probably the most important game we are going to see all day, although we do still have NA West coming up after this, so I may eat my words later. But like Sundown said, this is a massive game for so many of these players.
So Pookie, I already we saw Zate, we saw Snood, we saw, who's the player we first hopped in with? I forgot his name just briefly. But regardless, I'm trying to figure out who is in contention right here. Firiko's a very strong player, dictating, very well known on the Fortnite competitive subreddit. And then Class, yes, up there for sure. Snood at 57. This is important. We got to look at everybody who has the highest points in this game because that's who's going to be competing. Remember, I always say it comes down to little engagements, right? Snood could fight Zate, and that could be the one that's going to push you forward and qualify you.
Wouldn't that be something? Snood versus Zate. We love to see it. Snood taking some shots here with a compact SMG, trying to break those metal walls onto the player just below him here. He is going to have to watch that peak, opening up a door as opposed to just a window so that he can easily run out and finish the player. He does have him on white damage, and there it is. Snood secures his 3rd elimination of the day on Homie Law.
So
look at these edits.
An update on the zone really quickly, as we are at that Frosty Flights, but you've got to be careful. These peaks, these icebergs, they're treacherous. And we talked about last game how there was 40 people alive going into that first moving zone, and then all of a sudden there was 12.
Yeah.
Right? And so this could be another one of those situations. It's really all up to this. This skill coming in towards the end game as dictating picks up 1 is all. Where can you last on these rotations? These ones are the hardest rotates in the game. When everybody is so close, you've got to be perfect with your tunnels, perfect with your edits. Now, dictating on 43 points, is going to use that recycled launchpad, that community launchpad to get in towards the zone. Top 30 situation now, almost reaching that threshold. There, Vice was the player I was thinking of. All the way over it towards high ground.
Stola up there as well.
Mega as well. Dubs his teammate. So this game falters. I'm just naming players because this is a who's who. in
We're
competitive
gonna have
Fortnite
to
NA
see.
East.
Down to 20 players now. So first threshold for elimination has been reached. Dictating taking shots on Asgarito. Does end up taking him out. Takes 1 tick of zone damage. That puts him at 51 health right now. He is going to have to play this very carefully. Try to maybe third party. Is opting to go for the early rotation so that he can stay in a box, use edits, and hopefully get an elimination here.
Yes.
Does he get it? He does. Excellent, excellent play by Dictating there.
Perfect there, and he's going to continue the fire onto Dolbs, and I believe that Snood there. And one thing I wanted to point out was how he used that glider redeploy. Again, I talked about the short jumps as he continues to get oh, the stairs! Is the trap going to finish it? No, he does go down to Fireko, unfortunately there for Dictating. That's the end of his run. And Fireko at 52 points right now. Remember, top 6 in the qualifying.
Snood just got taken out.
Snood gets taken out as well, so unfortunately that might be the end of his run for New York. Again, just falling short. Snood was so close in week number 3. It's all coming down. Everybody is firing on each other. There's 3 shadow bombs right now. Mega just took out 1 in the elimination feed as well. Colorful now, 4 eliminations, 61 points. He is in the range. He can do this as well. Healing back up. Can you do it now? Can you get up to the position where you need? Can you get the health? He's got to look for eliminations too, Pookie.
Top 7, he is 2 away from that next threshold on placement. Pops the shadow bomb, goes for the rotation. Let's see where the other players are. He is using the builds to try and take the high ground. Does end up getting on top of a player's box. There's a player right below him, Baller.
Right below him. He's got to be careful. Remember, you could just pickaxe that floor twice and all of a sudden it's gone. Zayt on high ground. I don't know how many times I'm going to watch a game where Zayt is suddenly, we knew he was in it, but I thought he was eliminated early on. He's at 63. Vice in the bottom right, 55 points too. Anybody, Colorful we saw was close. He was 62 points. It's coming down to it right now. Zayt, look at his materials, only 21 builds on high ground though. He's gonna bide his time. He wants that victory royale. He wants to maximize everything. Now, Vice and Pistola in a fight as well. Who's gonna come out on top right now? Pistola taking a bit of high ground. Where is this going? Zayt just staying. He's not really committing to anything because he knows the situation. He knows all the players in here. He knows the leaderboard standings as well. Last time he checked. Vice gonna take out Colorful. So he's putting himself back in the running as well. Who's getting the ticket in this game? Who is gonna be the one coming to New York? Pookie. It's coming down to a top 4 now.
Top 4, and Vice sitting on ultimate low ground with that RPG poised and ready. Is Zayt going to take out Hornet? He is now raining shots down. Zayt falls down. Vice takes him out with the RPG. Is Zayt going to start shooting? He is. But Vice, does he take high ground?
Yes, Zayt with the victory royale. 68 points to win. That elim all the way up to 71. I believe that would have qualified you for New York. Sundown gave us the little update, the little context there beforehand. But guys, I want to know, what is the standings, Kitty? What is going on?